Welcome to episode 39 of the Wiretap podcast with Alex.
And Carlos, what's up, Alex?
What's going on, dude?
Man,
been a
it has
while.
been, man, it's been a while. And to those that are listening, we apologize that we just haven't, it's just been a crazy past couple of weeks, man. And today, I'm glad we were able to jump back on this. It's just nuts, man. It has been absolutely nuts for me, nuts for you, right?
Yeah.
But the good thing is a couple of weeks ago, we got together for dinner and had a little mini business meeting because you were in town scoping out a project, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Did you close on that yet? Did you close?
We're working on it. It's one of those things. It just takes time when you're dealing with that kind of project. But yeah, we were down visiting, talking to our client, and we had a nice little lunch. So that was great. And then after that, we got busy. I was down in a business convention over the weekend, so we couldn't do the pod.
You did.
Yeah,
that's right. Because you brought me some Birds cookies. Shout out to Birds cookies.
Yeah, so I was down there. We couldn't do the podcast just because I left on the weekend, and by the time whatever. But
I get
it's
it,
been
man.
great.
I get it.
It's been busy.
I
It's
get
been
it,
busy.
Man. Well, listen, talking about this busyness, man, I've noticed lately, I don't know about you, Alex, but I've noticed that when it comes to you got all these billboards, especially you traveling, right? You're traveling, you're driving, you're back and forth. And I don't know if you've noticed lately, man, but the Mega Millions has just been spiking here and there, back and forth, back and forth. I think today they're at, was it $94 million? But somebody less than I think it was less than a month ago, won 108 million. It's just been going back and forth, man. And I thought to myself, as I'm sitting and I'm driving through, because to be honest with you, I don't have $94 million. But my question was, I was like, you know what? I wonder if that would be an interesting topic just to touch on a little bit. Like, if you won $94 million today, or as the lottery says, you can't win if you don't play, right? My question to you, Alex, have you ever thought about, like, what would I do right off the bat? Like, have you ever thought about that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like everybody has, right? You feel like everybody's at least has said, what would I do the first thing? Like, do you feel like right off the bat, when you win the money, do you feel like you are sacrificial and you give to someone else? Or do you go run off and take care of yourself first? What is that something that you do?
So I think what I would do, we're talking about 94 million. Is that what we're winning? What's the number?
Yeah. You might as well. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. Throw it out. 94 million, dude.
Okay.
Just today. Just for today.
Yeah. Yeah. Just for today. It doesn't go with my plans that are long and want in the future.
In the future. Right.
But no. I think what I would do immediately would just hush, right? Not even say nothing. Just kind of let the buzz die down.
Right.
Talk to a lawyer first before I come out and say, because some of these states have
set up your LLC, set up a holdings company so no one come after your money.
It's not even that. It's kind of because how if you set a corporation, you don't have to disclose a person's name. So I will look into all that because I don't want to
corp right away. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why you want to be anonymous, kind of getting that right. But so I would take my time, make sure that I don't come out right and just say that, oh, I want it, and then just play it cool. Just kind of let the buzz die down, get the money, make sure it hits your account before you do anything crazy. Quit your job or anything like that. But
what's interesting is what's really out there, like some of those myths, right? What to do, what not to do. I think you've pulled some. I think you hit some of those, right? To just relax, right? Relax at first, let it die down. I think that's a good move.
Digest have you heard? Let it. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people have even said, hey, instead of focusing on managing it, don't assume that you could manage it, right? Because you've never had that kind of money before, right?
Well, I think, obviously I never had that kind of money, right? But I know enough business sense and money sense that I don't think I would blow it. You immediately will put some of it into investments or let some people actually manage the money, but you would, of course, you're gonna splurge a little here and there, but
would you keep working? Would you keep working?
I don't know if I would. I think I would start working for myself at that point.
Okay. So you dive in more into the entrepreneurial approach.
Yeah, correct. And actually, my plan that I have in a couple of years, they just say that my plan for 10 years, of course, now you accelerate it and be like, well, I can do that next year because you can actually manage. Or I don't know, or maybe you look into something different as far as investing in like like a shopping centers and where you're renting them out. I don't know. You got
Yeah.
to study the
Retail
market.
space. Retail
Yeah,
space is
retail
what you're saying.
space.
So
Yeah.
you would dive in straight to the real estate market is what you're saying.
No, I don't know. I think I would at first I would have to understand it.
Gotcha.
Maybe
Gotcha.
partner up with somebody else where I'm not.
Right. Right.
You gotta grow that money. Well, I think with
Yeah.
a lot of mistakes people do, and maybe you can touch on your side, what you would do or immediately. But I think what a lot of mistakes are done because people just go crazy and start spending it, start hookers, drugs, giving it to everybody and every who, and then at the end of the day, you're left with nothing.
Right. Right.
So
So with that being said, would you wave goodbye to a budget, or would you welcome even a tighter budget than you are now?
Um, I
Like,
don't know.
would you
It's
keep those percentages that we talked about this a couple of episodes ago,
in
actually,
the
maybe like
investment
10,
world.
15, right? Like, would you go 60-40? Would you go 60,
No,
20, 20? Would you go,
I think you follow the philosophy of our one of our mentors, right? Which is Warren Buffett, is just
right?
be consistent with your thing. I don't think the money kind of, yes, it factors a little bit in your risk tolerance, but
Right.
you can't assume that you're gonna have unlimited risk because then you lose it all. I think you still play with your percentages and keep it smart, and that's how you
Yeah.
continue to grow,
And
so
pay
you
off
can
your
leave a
debt.
legacy. Yeah, and leave a
Right. Right.
legacy for your kids and their kids, and this is how you generational wealth you can create it, or you can lose it all, and we've seen
Yeah.
that happen before.
Oh man, it's crazy when you see those shows on television, like when it
Mhm.
says like I won the lottery, or and you see that, and then they're like zooming in and they're like interviewing him, and then the question is, so tell us how are you doing now with that money? And they're like, oh, I probably have
It's gone. Yeah.
$5,000 left. What? And they're like, but you won $12 million. Well, that's because at the end of the day, they didn't stick to their budget. They quit their jobs right off the bat. They didn't protect their assets. Again, they didn't even set up a budget, right? They just went out and blew it. And I get it. When you don't have that kind of money and you jump into it, man, it's just crazy. So
So I
I was
mean,
just
you took.
wondering, like a good opinion question, right? To say, Alex, if you won the lottery, like what would you do, dude?
Well, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
I'm gonna do the cash buyout. So I'm gonna
Right. Pay all the
what is
taxes out
that?
of the way.
What is that, like 30-40 million dollars gone or something, and then you're paying the taxes off of that, or whatever. Let's just say that out of those 94, I'm left with 40. Well, I can take some percentages of that and say, okay, I'm gonna spend $5 million, pay on my debt, maybe move to a little ranch style home, and then just get one or two normal cars, and then that's it. You live without your means. Everything else, throw into investments, or try to do something, or take a percentage of that and throw it into some long-term investments that you're going to say, okay, I'm going to take 20 into this, and then you take another 10. It's like, what can I do with this? What kind of businesses can I create? I think that's would be my approach. What
Yeah.
would be your approach?
You know, I, for me, man, I just, I think one of the things that really jumps out at me is there's just so much, to be honest with you. If I'm straight up, man, I think one of the biggest things that would jump out at me is at the end of the day, protecting my assets, right?
Mhm.
Making sure no one has the ability to come after me, right? Not that I've done anything wrong, not that I owe millions and millions, but you just never know, right? You just
Exactly.
never know who could show up out of the dark, and it's like, oh, but and it's like, what? And all you've done now is fight off litigation for something that has nothing to do with you, but someone could just come after you. I think the biggest thing for me is
Put
after
in a
$94
trust.
million, yeah,
Mhm.
put in a trust and draw on a living trust, right? Set up a
Mhm.
living trust. Not when I pass away, set up a living trust, set up a living trust for those that are, close to me, my loved ones. But what's interesting about this is there was somebody who said, and we may use this as the closing argument today, or not an argument, but as the quote, but it says that when you become a millionaire, it doesn't change who you are as a person. And it doesn't have to change the lifestyle if you don't want it to, right? Just because you're a millionaire, it doesn't have to change everything, right? You can keep everything the same. It just,
Yeah.
what it does to you is the key, right? So you got to be careful who you are. That you, I would even say, Alex, that anybody who gets in this kind of money, man, that you don't lose yourself, right? So for me, I would go straight into it and protect my
It
assets
amplifies who
right off the
you
bat.
are.
Absolutely, absolutely, and then of course diversify. Make sure my money is
Mhm.
working for me. That way, when I continue to grow or expand my business, at the end of the day, I'm protected and I can, I've got money to live off of on a living trust for the next, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you lock that money in, because I think a lot of these people do, they don't realize when you're spending and giving it, you get 100,000, you get 20,000. I mean, you get 200,000, you
Right.
get whatever.
Well, well, well,
It's
well,
like
I just paid taxes on that.
eventually, when you don't realize, it's like that's a million, that's 2 million, that's 3 million gone, and
Right,
now
right, right,
and then
right.
people don't
And
realize
you
they
can't write those
spend.
off. Like that's not a business expense because you're not a business and they're not a
Yeah.
taxable organization, right?
And then you go and buy a $5 million home or something that
Yeah,
costs
taxes.
$120,000 to maintain a month. Then you add that you're spending $1 million or 1.2 million just to upkeep it for a year.
Oh
Before
my
you
gosh.
realize, you're burning through cash like you wouldn't
Your
believe.
burn rate is through the roof, right? Right. No,
Yeah, no. So that's
absolutely.
what. And like I said, well, I would just maybe get a different house. I mean, my house is nice or whatever, and just get something just a little bit bigger outside of being inside of a subdivision. I would say,
Right,
but
right.
nothing crazy. Something that
So
you low maintenance.
so now you kind of sparked another question, Alex, as we talk about money and what we would do for, if you won the lottery, 94 million, the mega millions, et cetera, et cetera. My question would be, now thinking about all this, my other question would be is, how would you want to be remembered in life? Like, now that you've got this in play, right? This is a continuation piece. Like, this just triggered my mind. Like, how would you want to be remembered? Right? Do you want to be remembered as like the millionaire, right? That was
No,
stingy, that was, tight, that was like outside of, even if you are not winning those 94 million in general,
yeah,
how would you say you would want to be remembered for the rest of your life, even if you did have the 94 million?
no. I mean, I think I think it's just a family man, hardworking, and just dedicated to my family. That's really what it comes down to.
Right, right, right.
I think I think that's how I would want to be remembered. Just a hardworking man, and just be dedicated to my family and make sure that I can provide for them and help them grow and be good members of society.
Yeah, yeah. A good tax paying citizen, right?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, values, not even tax paying. I
Right,
don't care
right,
about
right,
that.
right, right, right.
It's like more of a value. Make sure that they treat people that they meet with the kind of respect. Now, I'm not saying that if someone doesn't deserve respect. I mean, you treat them the way they need to be treated.
Right.
But you always want to treat somebody with respect and kindness.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of the human
What
piece,
about
Alex.
you? No, no,
Well,
no.
I
What
mean,
about
I didn't know if you wanted to ask me that question because I don't want to prolong this topic. But
no? Go ahead.
if anything, for me, man, I would say that I was always I think if anything, I want to be remembered is that when I loved to the fullest, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I cared to the deepest. When I was real, I was as real as you could get. Like, I think if there's a word, like if I could put it on a
Mm-hmm.
word, Alex,
Authentic.
it'd be is authentic, is genuine.
Yeah.
Like, what you
Well,
see is what you get. Like, if
mhm.
someone who met me 30 years ago, maybe not 30, maybe 20 years ago, and never saw me again for another 20 years and they still see me today, they'd be like, dude, that's the same guy. You know what I mean?
No,
Like this
no,
dude hasn't
100%.
changed. He's so real. He's so authentic. He never stopped grinding. He never went at it. He never gave up. Like, he always did this. He always did that. So if anything, that's how I even resemble my leadership is genuine and authentic leadership. Right. So I guess it kind of plays a role in
Yeah.
everything that even in my own life, that if anything I want to be remembered for is to be genuine and authentic, dude. So yeah, man, I'm all about that. But
No,
you know,
I think I share those with you. I mean, I think we all, some people might say, like, in sometimes, being too honest sometimes can
can
be
get
a
you in trouble.
negative. And that's the thing what I struggle, because if I'm
Right,
way too
right. I
honest,
do. I'm
I
right
kind of,
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I say what I want to say. I don't really hold anything back as far as, with the right tone or whatever. But sometimes
And I don't
maybe
think anybody should, Alex. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody
Or
should
maybe I
hold
say
anything back.
something, sometimes I say something that maybe you shouldn't, right? It's like, maybe, but whatever, it happens. Maybe honesty gets me in trouble.
Again, I go back to, I don't think you should hold anything back if it's something that's really on you, right? Because then you
Yeah.
walk away with, should I have said something, right? Could this have helped somebody else? Could this have, enabled, could this uplifted, could they, you can fill in the blank, bro. So
Yeah.
I would say, man, don't live, you know what I mean? And I know you don't live this way, but in general, for the
Um,
future, anybody listening, like, hey, be straight up, be genuine, be honest, because the only thing people are lacking today, I mean, you can get on social media,
yeah,
brothers.
for sure.
There's so many
It's
people who are
honesty.
straight up fake, right? It's all
Yeah.
fake people, not everybody, but you can see,
The
if you
majority.
know and
Yeah.
you can connect, you could say, okay, I see what you're trying to do here, and that's just not real. People are lacking that. So when they meet genuine, when they meet real, as the fake cliche says, right? Real recognizes real. I think if
Mhm.
anything, man, yeah, that's what people want. So for me, bro, I'm right there with you, man. That, at the end of the day, that's how I'd want to be remembered, as authentic and real. That, I'm constant, I'm consistent, and that's what you get. But, speaking of consistent, and this is huge, man. What is up with Tesla and these robots, bro?
I mean,
I mean, it
dude.
certainly it certainly
Yeah.
helps the private equity owner, right? Because
I mean,
Elon just doesn't stop. Like, his staff must be like people from NASA,
maybe it doesn't get
people
boring, or
from
maybe
data. I guess, man. Like, it's like someone walks in and says, "Hey, man, I got an idea."
today we're
Okay,
building robots. Let's go.
okay,
AI
I'll
robots.
say, and everybody comes back tomorrow ready to go, right?
I mean, I think it's like, hey, last night I was watching that movie, iRobot. How can we
Mhm.
actually make that into reality? Like, where they're personalized
Right.
assistants and robots? Because that's really what they're trying to go for.
That's
Is
right.
this
But that's the
humanoid?
thing. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm scared of, bro. That's what I'm
Yeah.
scared of, is that you got, like, a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, they posted that article where
Mhm.
Elon said, "Hey, we just want to build robots so we can get rid of those tedious jobs." Right?
Mm.
Like at
But
Amazon, like the machine can just pick up the box, put it over here, put it over there, ship it and out the door. And the only thing you got to worry about for right now is somebody to drive that specific package to somebody's house. Right?
yeah, but when
But
when does
those are
that become?
jobs.
But listen, when does that become automated? And then here's the thing: if we're gonna go down this road where everything's automated, um, then you're
Bro,
gonna have
we're
to
already
create.
there. You
No,
been
no,
to
no. But I'm
Walmart
saying
lately?
no. I don't go to Walmart, but like, I'm just saying I don't go to Walmart. Is
I
like
do. I'm real and I'm genuine and authentic. But listen,
cool, whatever. I just go to my local Publix is down right here. It's like Walmart's out of my
you got
way.
you just want the big shiny aisles. Listen, the reason I say that is because the majority, and the reason I have to use Walmart as an example, Alex, is because the masses go to Walmart. Let's just be real. The
Yeah,
masses
yeah,
go to
for sure.
Walmart, right? And
If it was down
because
the
of
street at
that,
Walmart, I would go to
you
Walmart
jump
too.
right on
But
it, right? Especially
yeah,
these little
but
marketplaces, they're great. But here's the thing: when you cash out, bro, there used to be, remember when you used to walk in the Walmart, when you did go to Walmart, Alex,
yeah,
and
when I
you'd
live
have like
closer,
30,
yeah, that's
right, right, and you
downtown.
had 30 registers and they were all empty, right? They had, there was maybe like two, but
Yeah.
they got 30 available. Now they've got 30 available, but they're self-checkouts,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
that's
And all
crazy.
you've
Yeah.
got now is one person who's just monitoring, looking for that little red light to go off and to come in, punch a code, and they ride out, right? So now
Yeah.
you've killed, like, you have minimized the overhead at the front, right? You've minimized that. And now you don't need 30 cashiers, right? Now you just need 30 machines that work off of AI.
But the thing is, look, and this is, I think, in some European country, we said it is they have like everyone makes a certain amount of standard of living. They just
Right.
everyone gets this paycheck, whatever, whatever they do, weekly, biweekly, monthly. I don't know what they do, but at some point, people that are not, let's just say, went to college or don't have any trade skills, they just were gonna be that cashier or was gonna be that, stocking bags or whatever that was. Not to, say that those jobs are not valuable, but those people that were gonna get those jobs now they can't get any job. So what are you going to do with those people? You got to give them something so they can sustain their life.
I mean,
I mean,
that's, I mean,
I'm not
that's
talking socialist. Look, I'm not a socialist. I don't. I think everyone should work hard, and everybody earns what they, how much work they put in.
right.
And but I also believe that, hey, if people need to be carried and given a hand, they should be given a hand.
Mm. I mean, I listen, I'm right there with you. But I think out of all of this, what I think about is what's next, right? Like what's next
Hmm.
at the Publix, right? What's next at
Well, Publix
the
still has cashiers at their,
right,
because
right, right.
my
Because
own still has cashiers, but
but
there's
because
not
but
that
here's the
self
thing about
checkout.
Publix, right? But here's the thing about the Publix, right? Is the person at the your cashier, if we want to do that, right? I'm sure there's a better word for it, but the cashier, right, is very friendly,
Checkout
right?
personnel or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
They what?
they're very friendly. They've got
Yeah.
personality. Did you find everything you needed today? Like versus a question where did you find everything you needed? Yes or no, right? Like so that human interaction could either make or break the transaction, right? And do I want to come back or not? Versus you've got a machine where it's non-personal, and it really doesn't matter. I'm just here to get what I need to get, and I don't really need the personality and the
Yeah.
graciousness, right? Which is quite interesting of a business model. If all you're there to do is offer cheap items for cheap prices, then why should you care about
Well, I
personnel,
mean, now
right?
we go to like
It
McDonald's and
changes, right?
Burger,
It change.
like,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
versus going to Chick-fil-A, where people are more like, "Hey, how you doing? My pleasure. Can I get you anything? Would you need?" And it's more. It feels, it's a different vibe. It's totally different, and I'm not sure where we're going.
It's
I mean,
something to definitely think about, right? And I think
mhm.
as a podcast that's about business, I'm not going to pose a question to our listeners, but I am going to say to you, think about that. Just take a moment and think about what the world would look like as we move further into AI, because we're already really into AI
Yeah.
and so much of the artificial intelligence. I mean, every time you log into something that's connected to Google and it says, tell me where the stoplight is, right? And you're clicking those little squares just to get through that captcha. I mean, the reality is all that's doing, it's just helping gather intelligence for AI. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's all it's doing. So, all that to say, Alex, is as we move forward and we're looking at, Elon Musk as a leader and moving as Tesla, and they've had a fantastic year, man. Let's just be honest, right? They've had a fantastic year. And as an investor, I'm a believer. I really am. I'm a believer in Tesla. I think
Yeah.
at some point, I'm wondering this, what's going to happen with Tesla? Is Tesla going to be a household name brand for everything, or are they just going to stick to automobiles, or where's the umbrella fit into that? Right.
Well, remember I told you Tesla's more than just cars. People just associate the
Right.
old Tesla
Right.
to the
Right.
cars,
With the
but they're just
car.
so much.
Right.
They're in everywhere, and I'm glad to see someone pushing the boundaries now, for better or worse. We don't know, but I'm glad someone at least is using technology
Yeah.
to further their stuff.
Because you really don't know, right? Right. And
No,
that's the
you we
thing.
don't know.
But here's
Time will
here's what
tell.
it does. Here's what it does cause, Alex. It causes fear.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro,
I
let's
mean,
just be
because
real
because
about it, right?
uncertainty always causes fear in everybody. I mean, and you, me, and our listeners, everyone.
Right, right. So, as you talk about these things, man, and I listen, I'm a thinker, dude. I'm a thinker. Anybody who's listening to this podcast and you're driving, I am sure, and I am more than sure that you're a thinker. You like to drive and think about things. If you're not, I'm so sorry, but I'm sure that everybody thinks about, whether you have kids, right? What kind of world are your kids going to live in, right? What kind of world are you setting them up for where you sit, right? As far as your influence and your circle of influence. So all of these things play a role, which really, at the end of the day, Alex, I think, man, when I start thinking of some of these things, I'm excited about technology. I'm excited about what it can do for me. I'm excited what it can do for my business, for my professional life. But there are things, right? I mean, because recently, I just encountered in my own business when it comes to marketing and targeting with social media, there's some new things that are coming out that are not going to allow me to do, I guess you can call it, specific demos, specific demographics that I can't really focus on when it comes to marketing as I used to be able to control those specific algorithms. I can't do that anymore. So I think we've gotten too far in certain places that even the government is stepping in to say, hey, wait, we
Like
got to
too much
regulate
cancel
that.
culture. I mean,
Right,
that's
right,
really what
right,
it
right.
comes down to. Like
There's a
every
whole lot of it, but it creates a fear, right? Why is someone so fearful that a company knows more about me than I want anybody to know, right?
Mhm.
Why is that such a fear? Oh, because now you have the ability to control me.
Yeah.
Is that the fear, right? Is that the fear? I don't know. I don't know. I'm posing questions to our listeners. I'm posing questions to myself. I'm posing questions to you, Alex. So I guess to wrap this show up, man. I mean, let's just be honest, dude. I mean, what's your biggest fear right now after you hear these things, or just in general? Like, what is your biggest fear right now? How about present?
I mean, just I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that come to mind, but I guess my
Right.
biggest fear is just not being there for my kids, my family, like helping
Yeah.
them grow and seeing them grow. So that, I mean,
Right.
I guess that would be mine.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, man, it would be the economy,
You know.
because that controls my ability to provide for family, the ability to provide for staff, right? My employees, for even my community, bro. I'm a big economic driver in my community, and I'm being as real as I can get in bringing economy to my own community and where I live, bro. Inflation and the economy is killing, right? It's killing, and I
Yeah.
really struggle with that. So my biggest fear right now is, where are we going as an economy? I'm not trying to get political. I'm not moving into conservatives, being conservative or socialist. I'm not going down that route. What I am saying is, as a fear, what gets me right now, because of what I see around me, like I can't deny, as just as much as you, I can't deny what I see, right? As much as I have my opinions, as much as I have my political stance on things, I look around and I see what I see. And because of what I see, it creates a fear, right? And because of that
Yeah.
fear, I think about the economy and where we're going, how we're going to bounce back, because I feel like we're really struggling to bounce back. I don't care what the market says. We saw the market has been performing lately. It's been all over the place, but
Oh
lately
yeah, it's all over.
just,
It's
yeah, it's all
dropping
over.
big time.
It's a mess. But I think that is a significant indicator, if I could use those words, Alex, a significant indicator of where our economy is right now, right?
I mean, I
So
think
much
if you were,
supply,
yeah, I
we
think if you were
say,
asking
so
me,
much demand, etc. Right?
no, if you would just ask me like, oh no, biggest fear as far as in general, I thought it was more personal. No, I mean, on the general, I'm not too concerned about the market. I do see it moving so volatile, just up and down. It's crazy, but I think I've made the right moves and that I'm not too concerned. But obviously, there's always concern about how the market affects because
Yeah.
what I don't like the trend about all these stores closing though. It's like it's impacted like a lot of small business owners and obviously a lot of even big chains. Like they're closing all these stores. Like you can't go to the stores and just shop like you used to. Everything I get that the trends, everything's online, but man,
Right.
it's a hassle for clothes. Like you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's a different way to
But
live,
here's the
and I guess
thing. Here's the
yeah,
thing. You're hitting the nail on. This is a part of technology advancing,
yeah, it's
right?
adjustments, yeah, for sure.
And like at some point, stores will disappear. I'm not gonna say what mall I was at recently, but I was at a mall located in the state of Georgia recently. And usually when you walk into malls, you see a lot of these, corporate stores, right? Corporate
Hmm.
stores. And this is a very large mall in this state. And as I walked around, I begin to gauge as well. Because again, I'm a thinker, right? And I noticed that a lot of these larger, right? Larger corporations, okay, larger brands are no longer in the malls,
Like
right?
Disney closing their malls. Like they're
They're
pulling them
no
out.
longer, and it's not just Disney. I'll even throw
No,
one at
no,
you,
I'm
Abercrombie and
saying it
Fitch.
just no, exactly. I mean, I was just saying as an example. I mean,
Right,
it's
right.
a little scary, but not scary in a way, but
It's just
very
different for sure, right?
inconvenience. It's inconvenience of
Well,
you
because you
need a
want
shirt, I can't
something,
go get. Yeah,
right?
exactly. I can't get it now. I have to pre-plan
Uh-huh.
everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. But that's where we go as this is a con, right? Versus a pro, right? This is the
Mhm.
downside of a online society.
But are you giving it to me cheaper at a cheaper rate? Am I paying shipping? So there's a lot of things
Are
that are
you
gonna. That's what I'm
play a
saying.
role?
So we're
Right,
not.
right.
Versus in the store, it was already or ship it to the store. You go pick it up and it's there. I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons that we can go into.
Right.
Maybe we can do a segment on the next podcast or something.
Hey, before we leave, throw out a ticker. I need you to tell me what ticker you've been watching lately.
Well, obviously Nike's making some moves. I think it's in the
I'm on
news.
target.
Everybody,
I'm on target.
yeah, I think Nike is definitely one to watch just because of the holidays. Everybody's gearing up to buy
Did
a
you
lot
hear
of,
what's going on with the production at Nike?
not the actual production. Why did you hear something?
They have put a halt on special orders. Have you
Mm.
noticed that? Have you heard about that?
Well, I know that I was trying to
Gotta
get
watch
something
that.
and it was pre-ordered and I mean until 20 I think
They
the
yeah,
second month February like
yeah,
2022 was.
yeah. They're holding off on that. But that's where I think about like what? Like I'm a I'm a I'm a I'm a owner of the company. Like I'm a stockholder. Like, what do you mean you're gonna stop specific
Yeah.
orders? You got to generate revenue, right? I mean, I know Nike's not hurting, but you don't
Yeah, no.
stop, right? So there's
No, the
something in the
machine keeps going.
financials that we're about to see when it comes to Nike. There's something that's about to move forward. Maybe they're stopping for the sake of a larger investment. I don't know, Alex, but I think I'd love the
No,
fact
I
that
don't
you
think
said Nike. Just watch it.
no, here's the thing though. I think it has to do with personnel. There's not enough people to okay, here's an interesting thing just to go. Um
Just bring a
Thanksgiving.
robot in. What do you mean? What are you
No,
doing?
check this out. Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, down in California, Boston Market is one of a big chain stores or whatever. They were doing pre-meals for Thanksgiving. Well,
Yeah.
none of the workers showed up for work on Thanksgiving.
Mm.
They didn't show up. So what did they do? They had to close the store down. They told the customers, "I'm sorry, we're going to refund your money back." Obviously, they were already having plans that the dinner was being prepared. So now you throw their whole into fiasco, right? Trying to figure out what we're going to eat, what we're going to make last minute. But none of the employees showed. So it's a trend now that the employees are starting to say, it's like, hey, we have power. I mean, you guys can't make money if we don't show up. And what are you going to do? We can actually make you go under. I mean, think about it. If all the Boston market and they just all their employees just quit, what are they going to do the next day? They can't replace all those people.
No, they can't. They
So,
can't.
so it's like I think people realize with these COVID is like, hey, I like there's like a for example here, there's a couple of workers that have never taken days off. They've worked 12-hour shifts nonstop, always working, no vacation. Now you told them, hey, COVID, you had a layoff. And they're like, hey, I kind of like this. So now they're starting to take days off here and this. And I was like, hey, actually, I don't feel to go to work today. Now, obviously, I'm using extreme examples, but
Right.
man, it's just awoken the people to say, it's like, hey, you actually do have a power if you guys organize, which is a scary thing in itself as well.
Right. No. Of course. No. Listen. I just, I think for me the biggest thing is it's who's controlling what, man.
Yeah. And we'll leave it at that.
Right? I mean, I'm just
uh,
saying. But anyway, I'm watching Target right now. I
and
think
I'm
there's a
watching
little bit of a
Nike.
dip. Right?
Uh,
There's a little bit of a dip right now. I think there's an opportunity for at least a $15 to $20 gain, which will at least bump you back up for about a 20%. I'm sorry, about a 9%. Listen, as the past 6 months, it's gone up at least already 8%. So I'm watching Target, and then recently they had that announcement that they were going to stop opening up stores on Thanksgiving. I think that's a good move. I think
I mean,
we've got. I love being a capitalist society, but we also got to remember about quality of life, right?
exactly.
I'm
And
I'm
I
all
think,
for I'm all for having a 4-day work week versus a 5-day work week, right?
oh, same. I'll
All
work
day, all
10,
day.
12 hours, whatever.
Yeah, man.
4 days a
Yeah.
week. Give me Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm
Right,
good.
right, 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 man. It's we've got to get to a point where we've got to enjoy the quality of life, dude. So anyway, that's just my opinion. I know we're
And
running late. I know we're running behind. I want to say
no,
thank you to
guys,
everybody.
Yep. Thanks to everybody. And then before Carlos says, I want to say, just be patient with us. I know that it's the holidays and things can go, crazy or scale or
Poco
both of our
loco, right?
both of our schedules are pretty busy. So we definitely appreciate you listening in and just staying with us.
That's right. That's right. So this is the quote of the day. As you all know, we like to wrap it up with the quote of the day. If anything, it's what we talked about earlier. Is we've learned that, and this is for people who are being real. This is a quote that says, "Becoming a millionaire doesn't change who you are as a person, and your lifestyle doesn't have to change if you don't want it to. At the end of the day, you have a choice, right? So becoming a millionaire doesn't change who you are as a person. Your lifestyle doesn't have to change if you don't want it to. You've got choices in life. Keep that in mind. My name is Carlos.
Alex, thanks guys. See you guys.
Peace. Ciao.